بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات ربي وسلامه عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه الكريم: وقال ربكم ادعوني استجب لكم إن الذين يستكبرون عن عبادتي سيدخلون جهنم داخرين. Allah Azza wa Jalla says within His book, and your Lord has said, call upon me, make dua to me, and I'm going to respond to you. And indeed, those who are too proud to worship me, they shall enter the hellfire in humiliation. Ayyuhal ikhwa wa akhawat, within this verse, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala commands His servants to supplicate to Him Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And then He promises that He's going to respond to you. And then He mentions, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ عَنْ عِبَادَتِي, that those who are too arrogant, too proud to worship me, and they're going to enter the hellfire in a state of humiliation. So from that which we benefit from this verse, ayyuhal ikhwa wa akhawat, is the fact that dua is ibadah. For Allah Ta'ala referred to it as such within His statement after commanding to supplicate to Him, that those who are too proud for what? On ibadati, they're too proud to worship me, and they're going to enter the hellfire in this particular state. And the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he mentioned within his book, ad-du'a ibadah, that dua, it is worship. And likewise, from that which we benefit from this verse, ayyuhal ikhwa, is that those who abandon this tremendous act of worship, those who leave off calling upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah ta'ala is angry with them. Allah ta'ala is angry with them. For Allah Ta'ala has mentioned within this verse that those who are too proud to worship me, meaning by way of this tremendous act of dua, سَيَدْخُلُونَ جَهَنَّمَ دَاخِرِينَ. Allah Ta'ala is going to make them to enter into the hellfire in a state of humiliation. And this is similar to the statement of the poet. A poet, he said, Allah يَغْضَبْ إِن تَرَكْتَ سُؤَالَهُ وَبَنِي آدَمْ هِينَ يُسْأَلْ يَغْضَبُ. This poet, he mentioned that Allah Ta'ala is angry when you abandon asking Him, but the children of Adam, they get angry when you ask them. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned, and that which is come on the authority of Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من لم يسأل الله يغضب عليه. He said that he who does not ask Allah, that Allah Ta'ala is angry at this individual. وَإِسْنَانُهُ حَسَنٌ. The chain of narration of this hadith, it is Hasan. So since the affair is like this, ayyuhal ikhwa, that dua, it has this great status, and abandoning it brings about the anger of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, that it is upon all of us that we increase and supplicate to our Lord Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, and that we learn about this affair, that we learn about its etiquettes and its rules and the things which are connected to it. Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, he defined dua by saying وَطَلَبُ مَا يَنْفَعُ الدَّاعِ وَطَلَبُ كَشْفُ مَا يَضُرُّهُ أَوْ دَفْعَهُ. He said that it is to seek that which will benefit the one supplicating, or to seek the removal or repelling of that which is harmful to him. However, as it relates to this great act of worship, there are things which can prevent your dua from being answered and prevent your dua from being responded to. And from those things which prevent your dua from being answered and responded to is that which has been mentioned by the Shaykh Abdul Aziz ibn Baz, where he mentioned أسباب عدم قبول الأعمال متنوعة أعظمها وأخطرها الشرك بالله وأنواع الكفر بالله فإنها تبطل الأعمال كلها. He said that the reasons for the actions being rejected and not being accepted, they are of various types. And the greatest of them and the most dangerous of them is the association of partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And likewise, disbelieving in Allah ta'ala with all of its various types of disbelief. For indeed, this is an affair which nullifies every single righteous action. Allah ta'ala, He mentioned within His book, وَمَنْ يَدْعُ مَعَ اللَّهِ إِلَهًا آخَرَ لَا بُرْهَانَ لَهُ بِهِ فَإِنَّمَا حِسَابُهُ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِ إِنَّهُ لَا يُفْلِحُ الْكَافِرُونَ. Allah Ta'ala, He mentioned within His book that those who call upon, along with Allah, another ilah, knowing He has no evidence for this, then indeed His reckoning it shall be with His Lord, and indeed the disbelievers shall not be successful. So from the means which hinder your dua from being accepted is the association of partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or engaging in acts of disbelief. Likewise, from the affairs which block dua from being accepted, akul haram wa shurbahu wa labsahu, is to eat the haram and to drink from the haram, and likewise to wear the haram. It has been reported on the authority of Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala that the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, يا أيها الناس إن الله طيب ولا يقبل إلا طيبا وإن الله أمر المؤمنين بما أمر به المرسلين. The Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said that indeed Allah is pure and He only accepts that which is pure. And Allah Ta'ala, He has commanded the believers with the likes of that which He has commanded the messengers. Allah Ta'ala, He said, يا أيها الرسل كل من الطيبات وأعملوا صالحا وإني بما تعملون عليم. Allah Ta'ala, He said within His book, O messengers, eat from the tayyibat, eat from those foods which are pure, وأعملوا صالحا, and do righteous actions. Indeed, I know all of that which you do. Likewise, Allah Ta'ala, He said, يا أيها الذين آمنوا كلوا من الطيبات ما رزقناكم واشكروا لله إن كنتم إياه تعبدون. Allah Ta'ala, He also said, O you who believe, eat from those pure things which we have provided you, and give thanks to Allah Ta'ala, indeed, or if it is indeed He whom you worship. Then the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he mentioned a man who had been on a long journey, and he described him as Ash'ad Akbar. He is dusty and he is disheveled. Yamuddu yadahu ila sama, Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi. He raised his hands up to the sky and he says, My Lord, my Lord. وَمَدْعَمَهُ haram. His food is haram. وَمَشْرَبُهُ haram. His drink is haram. وَمَلْبَسَهُ haram. And likewise his clothes are haram. وَغُذِيَ بِالْحَرَامِ. He is nourished upon that which is haram. فَأَنَّ يُسْتَجَابُ لِذَلِكَ. So how is he going to be responded to in this state? So if you find that your means of living is from the haram, you nourish yourself, you clothe yourself, you feed yourself upon that which is haram. It may be eating from riba, or from monies which were earned by illegal earnings, and things which are displeasing to Allah Ta'ala, or taking the people's wealth without right. You don't be surprised if your dua is not accepted or responded to. And it doesn't matter, if you have some type of haram earnings and you think you want to purify it by giving sadaqah with it. For Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala, he said, إِنَّ الْخَبِيثَ لَا يُكَفِّرُ الْخَبِيثَ. He said, filth does not clean filth. Filth does not clean filth. So you would not take some urine and seek to clean feces with some urine. Likewise, you cannot seek to clean something which is already impure by way of another impurity. And likewise, from that which hinders and blocks dua from being accepted, irtikab al-ma'asi wal-muharramat, is the commission of sins, doing acts of disobedience and prohibited actions. The Shaykh Abdul Aziz ibn Baz, he mentioned, al-ma'asi min al-zina wal-sarqa wal-uquq وقطيعة الرحم كل هذا من أسباب عدم الإجابة. Sheikh bin Baz, he said that acts of disobedience, from fornication, stealing, disobedience to the parents, cutting the ties of the womb, all of this is from the reasons for your dua not being accepted. Likewise, from those things which block and hinder dua, is dua bil-itham, or qatiyat al-rahim. It is to make dua for some type of sin, or for the cutting of the womb, the cutting of the ties of the womb. As has been reported by Aboo Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala. The Allah's Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, لا يزال يستجاب للعبد ما لم يدع بإثم أو قطيعة الرحم أو قطيعة الرحم. He said that the servant shall continue to be responded to, his dua, as long as he does not supplicate for some type of sin or supplicate for the cutting of the ties of the womb. And likewise, from that which must be paid attention to as it relates to dua, is being hasty in your dua. Being hasty in your dua. And what is being hasty in your dua? The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, يستجاب لأحدكم ما لم يعجل أو ما لم يعجل فيقول قد دعوت فلا أو فلم يستجب لي. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that one of you, his dua will be responded to as long as he does not become hasty, and he says, I make dua, but he didn't answer. Meaning the individual, he gets tired of making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so he gives up seeking that which he needs from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and therefore he takes some other type of means towards that which he is seeking, which is displeasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ibn Battal, he said, rahimahullah, وَقَالَ بَعْضُهُمْ, that some of the ulama, they mention, he says, إِنَّمَا يُعَجَّلُ الْعَبْدُ إِذَا كَانَ غَرَضُهُ مِنَ الدُّعَاءِ نَيْلْ مَا سَأَلَ. He said that the servant, he will become hasty if the objective behind his dua is simply the attainment of that which he's asking for. Pay attention. He said the servant, he will become hasty in his dua as long as the objective behind him supplicating is only the attainment of what he's asking for. So therefore, if he does not attain what he's asking for, dua becomes the burden to him. Dua becomes burdensome to him. Because he doesn't see an immediate result. He says, يجب أن يكون غرض العبد من الدعاء هو الدعاء لله. He said that it is obligatory that the objective of the servant in his dua be to supplicate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَالسُّؤَالُ مِنْهُ. And likewise, his objective must be asking him. وَالْإِفْتِقَارِ إِلَيْهِ أَبَدًا. And showing his eternal need for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَا يُفَارَقْ سِمَةِ الْعُبُودِيَّةِ. And not to separate, remove himself from the realm of servitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And likewise, showing his poverty and need and dejectedness before Allah ta'ala, and submitting to the commands of Allah and staying away from his prohibitions. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين لكل ذنب فاستغفروه. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تمسك بسنته إلى يوم الدين. وبعد. Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyyah rahimahullah, he mentioned within his book Ad-Da' wa Dawa, he says with Ad'iyah wa Ta'awwadat bimanzilat al-silah, he said supplications and likewise statements of seeking refuge from Allah Ta'ala, they have the status of a weapon. He said وَالسِّلَاهُ بِضَارِبِهِ لَا بِحَدِّهِ فَقَدْ. He said, and a weapon is as strong as the one who is wielding it. The weapon is as strong as the one who is wielding that weapon, and it's not just in the sharpness of the weapon alone. He says, so when the weapon is a sharp weapon and it has no blemishes in it, and likewise the arm of the one who is wielding that weapon is a strong arm, and likewise the shield of the enemy is not there, it's missing, then by way of that weapon it's going to strike whatever it is seeking to hit. And he says, and if one of those affairs is missing, meaning that the arm of the one who's wielding the weapon is weak, meaning that you're weak in your dua, and you're not constant in it, or if the weapon itself is not complete, meaning that you bring dua which is not complete and you do not perfect the etiquette of that dua, and the likes of this, if one of these affairs is missing, then the weapon will have no effect whatsoever. So just as there are things which block dua from being accepted, there are other affairs which make it more likely that your dua will be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And from the reasons and the means which bring about the acceptance of your dua is at-tamassak bis-sunnah, clinging to the sunnah. And this can be seen within the statement of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the aforementioned hadith, where he said, "Inna Allah amara mu'mineen bima amara bil mursalin." That Allah Ta'ala, He commanded the believers with the same thing that He commanded the messengers with. So therefore, clinging to the sunnah of your messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is from the greatest and the strongest means which will make your dua be accepted by Allah Ta'ala. And likewise, from the means of acceptance of dua, those things which will help your dua to be accepted, akl halal, is eating from the halal, eating from that which is pure and good, and that which is permissible for you. And Tabarani, he mentioned with the al-Mu'jam, the statement of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where he said, just Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, when admonishing him, he said, Ya Sa'd, he said, purify your food and your dua will be accepted. Purify your food and your dua will be accepted. Make your food to be from that which is halal, and your dua will be responded to. And likewise, from that which increases the chance of your dua being accepted by Allah Ta'ala, إخلاص القصد وقوة اليقين بوعد الله والثقة بموعوده وحسن الظن به. It is having sincerity in your intention and strength in your certainty and trusting in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and likewise having a good thought about Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. Aboo Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, Ud'u Allah wa antum muqinuna bil ijaba. He said, supplicate to Allah ta'ala, being sure that He's going to answer you. When you supplicate to your Lord, you have to have good thoughts about your Lord. But he says, supplicate to Allah, being certain and sure that He's going to answer your dua. He says, and know, wa'lamu, anna Allah la yaqbal dua min qalbin ghafil. And know that Allah Ta'ala does not accept a dua from a heedless heart. He does not accept dua from a heedless heart. And likewise from that which increases the chance of your dua being accepted by Allah Ta'ala is al-muhafidha ala al-fara'id wa mudawama ala al-nawafil wa dhikrullah fi sarra. It is being constant in preserving the obligations, and likewise being constant in performing the supererogatory acts, and likewise remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your times of ease. If you want Allah ta'ala to know you in your time of difficulty, you must know Allah ta'ala in your time of ease. You must remember Him in your time of ease. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, Ta'arraf ilallah fil rikha, ya'rafka fi shidda. He said, know Allah Ta'ala in your time of ease, and He will know you in your time of difficulty. And from that which proves this affair, is the statement of Allah Azza wa Jal, which He said concerning His Prophet Yunus alayhi salam. He said, فَلَوْلَا أَنَّهُ كَانَ مِنَ الْمُصَبِّحِينَ لَلَّبِثَ فِي بَطْنِهِ إِلَى يَوْمِ الْيُبْعَثُونَ. He said, were it not for the fact that Yunus used to call upon us and glorify us, yani in His time of ease, were it not for this fact that He used to call upon us and glorify us in His time of ease, He would have remained in the belly of that fish until the day the people are raised up. However, we know what was the end result of Yunus. Allah Ta'ala saved him, because he was one who remembered Allah Ta'ala during his times of ease. And there are other affairs besides these which cause your dua to be accepted, such as being mindful of the times when dua is accepted. Being mindful of the times when you know there's a good probability of dua being accepted. And from those times is the last third of the night. Getting up in the last third of the night, praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, supplicating to Allah ta'ala during this time when Allah ta'ala comes to the nearest heaven. And He says, is there anyone supplicating to me so I can answer his supplication? Take advantage, ayyuhal ikhwan. Likewise, supplicating to Allah ta'ala عند الأذان, when the adhan is being called. Allah ta'ala answers these supplications. And likewise, a time when dua is accepted is between the adhan and the iqamah. In between the adhan and the iqamah. And likewise from these times is immediately after the salawat al-maktuba, the obligatory prayers. And likewise, from the times when dua is accepted is when the imam ascends to the minbar for the khutbah on Friday. When he comes up to the minbar for the khutbah on Friday, all the way up until the time for prayer. And likewise, in between the two sermons on Jumu'ah, in between the first khutbah and the second khutbah. So we catch you next week, inshallah. And likewise, that last hour after Salat al-Asr, these are all from those times which there's an increase in the acceptance of dua. And there are other information besides this which we can share, but we will suffice with this. هذا وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.